Hi, everybody. Welcome to VocaTales, your all in one platform for crafting stories from idea to final draft. We just rolled out a major platform update, and we've got lots of features to cover in this demo, so we'll get straight into it, starting with the basics. At the bottom of the screen, you'll find your main toolbar. You can select a tool or an object to add to the board. In this case, if we're doing some brainstorming, a cloud might make sense, and we can adjust the visual properties like color, fill, and outline from this panel on the right. You can also add text to shapes and choose your font and adjust the alignment, or add text directly to your boards using that T icon from the toolbar and type directly on the board. Of course, the easiest way to switch between tools rather than going back and forth from the bar all the time, good rule of thumb to avoid that, is going to be using keyboard shortcuts. And the full list of these can be found from the menu in the top left. Scrolling through this list is a great way to familiarize yourself with all the different tools and functions that you can play around with on VocaTales boards. Other basic board objects include sticky notes, freehand drawing, or if your artistic abilities are as lacking as mine clearly are, you might get some more use out of the eraser here and image uploads. You can also embed media from a selection of other platforms like Figma, Google Drive, and YouTube. Once you have multiple objects stacking up on your boards, you'll probably find it handy to use the select tool to click and drag to select multiple objects at a time, delete them, move them around, and edit them as a unit. You can also group objects to keep them together for as long as you would like. Also worth noting, I've just been using my laptop touchpad to scroll around the screen, but you can use that hand tool or this panel in the bottom left corner to pan and zoom around your boards. Anything you have selected, whether it's an object or a group, can be duplicated or copied and pasted, which especially comes in handy if you have multiple different boards going, but we'll get to that a bit later. For now, you can see that just these basic features are enough to start creating some simple visual structures. But storytelling is not always a simple process, no matter what kind of story you're working on. So our boards are also equipped with building blocks, which are customizable templates designed to help you plan and analyze critical elements of different kinds of creative projects, like fiction novels, essays, marketing campaigns, and more. For example, you might start with the theme block if you're working on a poem, thesis and main ideas if you're drafting an essay, looking at your competitors if you are organizing a marketing campaign, or a character if you're writing a fiction story. You can pin these building blocks to the sidebar for easy access and then drag them over to your board, where you can select a block, open its properties, and upload an image, fill out the relevant information fields, or add your own custom fields. Whatever your project, building blocks can help you brainstorm, structure your thinking, and easily reference important information on the critical elements of your story. But the real power comes when you put building blocks together. Using multiple building blocks to create outlines, mind maps, and story structures is a great way to accelerate your brainstorming and get your ideas into an actionable format. So when you're ready to start writing, you can drag a document from the toolbar, double click, and greet the blank page with a clear sense of direction. The text editor is really intuitive. It has all the same tools you would find on Google Docs or Microsoft Word, and then some. But getting back to the boards for now, as you can see, when you're adding all these different objects, building blocks, and more complicated structures, things can get messy fast. You might end up with a board that looks something like this one. So to avoid that kind of madness, we have multiple levels of organization tools built in. The first of these is the section. Dragging objects into the section will group them together automatically, so we can clean up what we're not using anymore and preserve the stuff we do want in this new section. Sections also give you the ability to create nested drill down boards attached to specific objects. So you can organize using layers of depth rather than continuing to sprawl out on a single board. In this case, let's copy and paste this building block structure into a drill down board where we have more space to expand. Dragging over the blocks we have pinned to the sidebar and continuing to build from there with some movie magic in this case. Drill down boards can also be added to building blocks, so you can add additional layers of depth to the most important story elements you're working with. For instance, you might want to analyze an argument supporting one of the main ideas of your essay in greater detail, or if you were writing a fantasy novel, you might want to create a multi-layered world map of your fictional world. Zooming in on different locations to see what's going on there in greater detail. Of course, if you want to start fresh with a brand new board, you can click the plus sign to add new boards and documents and view all of your existing project tabs. Right-clicking an open tab will give you some additional options as well. Another really important aspect of keeping a project organized is the ability to navigate effectively, and we've got plenty of tools to help you do that too. The Folders tab opens up your board navigator, where you can view and easily navigate through drill down folders, sections, and building blocks, using different filters and a search bar at the top. The Layers tab shows you a list of all the objects in your current board layer. Click an item from the list to select it, zoom to that item, or double-click to rename. If you want to zoom out to view all the different boards and documents you've created in a project, you can click the Project Explorer icon in the top left next to the VocaTales logo. And finally, clicking the three dots above the building block sidebar will open your project library, which stores all the different building blocks you've created so you can easily drag them onto different boards and drill downs. That way it's easy to reuse and reference building blocks wherever and whenever you need to. Including from within a document. Again, just open up the project library, click a building block, and review your notes and ideas about important story elements as you implement them within your writing. You can even tag building blocks directly in the text for easy reference, especially if you plan on looking at the information stored in a block repeatedly. At the moment, we're still building our system for linking specific sections of a document to storyboards, but even in the current version, the project library isn't the only way boards and documents communicate. You can also copy and paste images of board structures you've created directly into your document. Just select the items you want an image of, right-click for a more detailed menu. We'll copy as PNG, head back to the document, paste it right in. That image integration opens up a lot of different possibilities for different kinds of creative projects. I took advantage of it myself to help plan out this very demo video. So that covers all the major features available on VocaTales as a single creator. Of course, if you do some more exploring, you'll find plenty of other tricks and Easter eggs you can use to make boards truly your own, combining everything however you'd like to arrive at structures that work for your personal creative flow. But as most of us have learned, you're not truly in the thick of the creative process until you bring in collaborators like editors, readers, and reviewers to tell you how much work you still have left to do. So to start collaborating online, you can share your board with the button in the top right corner, type in an email, select permissions, and send an invite. And collaborators don't need to have a VocaTales account to view, comment, and make edits on your boards, of course, depending on the permissions that you give them. The comment tool is right in your main toolbar. Type in a comment, hit enter, and once you've added a comment, you can select and move it just like you would any other board object. Clicking the icon to view the comment thread, and the check mark in the top right corner when the thread has been resolved. If you and a collaborator are working on a board together live, you can also use the laser pointer and the cursor chat feature for quick communications that don't require a whole comment thread. And then inline comments within documents are pretty self-explanatory. You just highlight the relevant text and click the icon in the pop-up or in that top bar. Finally, if you want to show off a board online or in person, you can select different areas to use as slides. Then, when you have your slide created, switch to presentation mode and impress your audience with a visual flow that makes PowerPoints look even more boring than they were already. So there we have it. Like I said, it's a ton of different features to play with. No matter what kind of storyteller you are, the templates and structures you create on VocaTales will make it easy to put your ideas into action and craft stories that make an impact. If you have any questions or feedback, always feel free to contact us through email or on the Discord server. And in the meantime, enjoy the platform, and thanks for creating with us.